Hi, and welcome to the second hour of Free for All Friday on Focal Point. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio. Last night, Republican Senator Tom Coburn said that President Obama is getting perilously close to being impeached. So we've had callers that have called this program really almost since President Obama was inaugurated, talking about impeachment. Are we going to impeach President Obama? Why doesn't somebody impeach him? And here's Tom Coburn saying we're not that far away from that. We are perilously close. He is getting perilously close to being impeached for misconduct in office. So that's coming from Tom Coburn. What was that, Jeff? Oh, we do. You got some audio on Coburn? Okay, let's play audio of Tom Coburn. And and I sent this over to Jeff late. This shows you the Cracker Jack staff we got here. I didn't know he's going to be able to get to this. So here's Tom Coburn. He's at a town hall meeting last night talking to his own constituents about this issue of the impeachment of Barack Obama. Here's what he had to say.
My little wiggle out of that when I get that written to me is I believe that needs to be evaluated and determined, but thank goodness it doesn't happen in the Senate until they brought charges in the House. So I think those are serious things, but we're at a serious time. And so whether I don't have the legal background to know if that rises to high crimes and misdemeanors, but I think they're getting perilously close.
So he says, look, I'm not a legal expert. I don't have the legal background to know if what President Obama has done rises to high crimes and misdemeanors, but I think they are getting perilously close. Let's drop down, if we can, Rob, to... let's look at clips 8 and 9, the Victoria Tenzing clips. You know, because we're just talking about the fact that President Obama has pulled his team out of Libya. This is the team that's supposed to be over there getting the bad guys. We know who they are. They've been identified for months. The State Department, whoever over there, has been urging him to take action. We know who these people are. CNN can find them. And now the entire team has been pulled out of there. No justice whatsoever for the victims of that attack in Benghazi and for their families. And here's Victoria Tenzing, an attorney, talking with Steve Ducey of Fox News. And, you know, this goes back to John Kerry earlier. There were 4 people that were disciplined in Benghazi. 4 of them were sort of temporarily demoted by Hillary Clinton. She was going to take charge. She was going to punish the ones that were responsible for this irresponsibility. That happened in December. Remember, the attack happened on 9/11. So it wasn't until December that Hillary Clinton got around to identifying some scapegoats, put them on leave. Now they're back to full duty. So they just had 8 months of paid vacation. Here's Victoria Tenzing talking about that.
They're 4 framed employees, I call them, and they were put on administrative leave, if you remember, as a result of the ARB report, the Accountability Review report headed by Tom Pickering and Admiral Mullen. And if you remember, the White House touted it as being unsparing and rigorous. Well, it was neither, Steve. It was a corrupt cover-up to protect Hillary Clinton. And why was it corrupt? Because they were not thorough. There are all kinds of people they didn't interview. They made false statements, and they framed 4 State Department employees to take the blame away from the higher-ups. They did not interview Hillary. They did not interview her top deputy for security, Pat Kennedy. Now, those are the 2 people that made the major security decisions. Can I give you an example of the security issue and how the IRB did this?
Right.
Now, it is undisputed that Ambassador Kretz in April of 2012 asked for increased security.
Right.
It's undisputed that Chris Stevens asked for it when he took over in June. My client, Greg Hicks, asked for more security before he left to go over there because of conditions on the ground. And guess what the ARP report says? This is the Pickering cover-up. Tripoli did not ask strongly enough for increased security. But 2 paragraphs later, in order to frame the 4 employees, you know what that same report says? Security was inadequate despite repeated requests from the embassy for increased security.
Sure.
You can't make this up.
So this is President Obama pulling the team out of Benghazi. It was over there to try to arrest the bad guys, take them into custody. We know who they are, not doing a thing to get them and bring them back to the United States for trial. So this is President Obama just sticking the knife into the families of the Benghazi victims and twisting it. Well, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Shirley in Winchester, Virginia. Shirley, welcome. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
Couple things, Brian. I know I went to a Tea Party meeting, and the house was full, and the basic thing was stop Obamacare.
Okay.
Our Senator Wolf was kind of in favor of this, but you've got a lot of people, Democrats and Republicans. This is going to affect everybody, not just Republicans. And
Yes.
I don't know why Obama keeps saying it's Republicans. I know a lot of Democrats that are against this. But anyway, while these people are home for vacation from Washington, I would suggest people go to your newspaper office, right on the front page, pay for an ad that says, our congressmen, our senators won't meet with us to discuss this Obamacare.
Yeah.
Get it right out where people can read it. Go to your radio station. Do something. I'm 80 years old. Honey, I fight for my country.
Yeah.
One other thing, in Scripture, Psalm 84:11 and Psalm 47:8 and 9 talk about the shields of the earth, which, if you really read what the shields are, they're protection. And I just feel like God is pulling his hand back from the United States with all this stuff going on because we've taken him out of prayer, out of the schools, the Bible, and you've got people that are Christians that are not standing up. We've got pastors that I don't know where they stand. They don't tell you where they stand. So, I mean, during the Civil War, I mean, a lot of these pastors got out with guns and fought. And they told their people, you know, you need to protect your country.
Yep, there's a time for peace and there's a time for war, and this is a time for war. That's what they said.
That's right. So I think we need some gutsy men. Now, if I were younger, I'd be a gutsy lady. I'm a gutsy old lady. But anyway, I just feel like we need some strong people that can stand up against Obama, and we need these Democrats that are for this stuff to stand up, cross the line, get over there and get this thing out before it kills America. We're gonna go out.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, Shirley, and that's a great word to finish this segment on. And you know, Shirley's exactly right. We are way past the time where we can sugarcoat this anymore, where we can finesse this anymore. I mean, it's time to be straight shooters. You know, we've tried to kind of kinder, gentler. You know, I'm distressed. I see some major Christian organizations that have been allies with us in the culture war. I'm thinking of a couple of them right now that are basically retreating from cultural engagement. And that's just they're getting tired apparently, or worn out, or they whatever. And just sort of abandoning the field of battle. And I will guarantee you lose every battle you don't fight. And we're past the time where we can afford to sugarcoat things or do the kinder, gentler thing. Time to stand up and be counted.